I think the reason why we all love origin stories is because it's the seed that creates these characters. Heroes are made, they're not just born.
In 2011, DC decided to restart its universe. One of the major tentpole titles was Justice League, and it introduced all the characters that made up the pantheon of heroes in the DC comic universe and introduced them for the first time in this team.
One of the things they wanted to do was be able to kind of not reset it to the point where these characters have to start from zero. They reset it to a point where, historically, where they're the most interesting.
Basically, the characters did not automatically get along like they did when they were first created in the 60s.
I'm a very big fan of comics from when I was a little kid, and personally, going back and saying, let's take another stab at this, let's let people in on the ground floor where they haven't had the chance to do that, I definitely think that it's revitalizing creatively.
Let the invasion begin.
These are not the characters that you think you know. These are not the voices that you think you know. They're not going to act in the same way. So, in a way, even though you know, we got 50 years worth of Batman, this is not that Batman. This is not that Superman.
While there's some iconic touches, like all the costumes are basically the same, only a little updated, the interpersonal dynamics between the characters are vastly different.
This is actually the first time that the Justice League comes together. It's the origin of the Justice League.
Put your hands in the air!
They don't like us much.
The world's afraid of us.
You say that like it's a good thing.
It's necessary. Take your glow stick and go home. Gotham's mine.
Going back to scratch, which has happened before on a couple of series at DC. I mean, the original Crisis on Infinite Earths was intended to do something similar, and in this case, they definitely were much more sweeping in terms of starting fresh.
So the Justice League isn't quite the Justice League. We can still be beaten if we're divided and conquered. But if we come together as a team, then we have a chance.
These defenders have sprung up like antibodies to protect their planet. We are in danger of losing the element of surprise, my lord.
The basic plot of the first 6 or so issues of Justice League was basically an invasion story.
Jeff Johns and Jim Lee referenced, obviously, Apocalypse and Darkseid, which had existed before. They were not new concepts, but they acted in the context of the story like Superman had never heard of Darkseid before.
I'm guessing that's the bad guy?
So basically, that's what the story is that it's the Justice League versus Darkseid. But when you read the story itself, it's really about the jokes that they make with each other, the irreverence. It's a totally new take on Justice League.
Green Lantern can do anything.
Except shut up, apparently.
Wow, someone forgot to take their True Blood tonight.
Where it's much more like a buddy film.
So it's all about these very famous superheroes, and famous to each other. They kind of know of each other.
That man's real?
Yeah, he's over there.
Wait, what?
It is a real honor to meet you, Sir Batman. Sir Batman.
For tackling this film, because of the source material, which is fairly recent, so it's a lot different than some of our other adaptations, because I wanted to see what the source material had, try to identify what about the source material that they're either paying an homage to from the past storylines, but at the same time see where they're going, because this is kind of a new reboot.
We try to learn from everything that's around us in the action genre.
Jim Lee's art and his use of force perspective is very dynamic in the books, because you open up the book and look at it and just marvel at the layouts and the amazing artwork that Jim Lee produces. So when we were doing our fight sequences, I wanted to bring that dynamic feel to the fights, so that was where it was a little bit interesting and difficult, because I know what I would like to do, but at the same time I had to try to stay true to what, the comic, the first 6 issues were like.
There were dynamics that Jeff wanted to make sure we preserved that were super important to him. Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Superman, and Cyborg, Shazam. He was like, these are sort of the touch-ins that I want to see evolve. Who is friends? Who respects each other? Who would like the work? Who'd heard of each other?
Is that your boyfriend?
No.
Cool.
Superman is the biggest departure because he's very different than what we're used to. He's not the Superman that we all know and love, in the sense that he's not established like how he already is in the comics. Like whenever we pick up a Superman comic or we see a Superman film, we know exactly how he's going to be, you know.
We don't know that Superman won't kill. There's a moment where he is beating the hell out of Batman and Green Lantern, and Green Lantern's convinced that this guy's going to kill him. And nobody knows that Cyborg has literally just been put together that morning because he stumbles out with some answers. So it becomes a really interesting game of who knows what.
Batman, when he's Batman, he's just badass.
These actors are so strong and so good and so accomplished that for the most part, you just make sure that they sound like a group of characters that could exist in the same world.
Alien is relative, by the way. It's a big universe.
Doing Flash was really easy because the script is really good. I felt like the voices for each of the characters was really specific and clear.
I just did one of the coolest things I've done in my career. I've done a few things, but this was like all the way left field and brand new.
I think when you have your gods of your universe, you want to push them together and you want to see what happens. You want to see what fireworks you can get. And that's really what happens in the New 52.
With all the boys. Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, and my beloved Superman.
You put the top creators in the business on a series that has all the top characters in the business, and people are going to want to check it out.